What's going on, guys? Welcome to IVG Podcast number 77. I'm Nash.
I'm Gagan.
And I'm Sam.
And what's up, man? Like, I still can't get used to this video podcast thing, dude. Like,
Yeah. Oh wait,
Yeah,
just
man.
now takes
before we proceed, I think we should add because now we are on video as well as on audio.
audio.
So
Yes,
anyone who's
sorry.
just listening to us and talk, and one thing why we're talking about looking at each other, we're also on video. So you can go to the IVG video, channel on YouTube. It's youtube.com/IVG video to
Hmm.
catch the video podcast. But if you want to listen to the audio podcast, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and you can go to anchor.fm/IVG to check that out. So
Yeah, yeah,
Nice. And if the pandemic, I mean, I won't say end, but the lockdown eases, we can actually do these in person with some beers and shit.
yeah. Actual roundtable podcast. Imagine that, man.
yeah.
It's only been like 3 years since we did the
Dude,
last one
we did one of those. Remember
with Bully.
with Bully? Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
dude.
technical mess. It was because
Yeah.
it was we had one mic and three of us, and it was like so someone's voice was too soft, someone was too loud.
and and your dog was in the room and he was going nuts every 10 minutes. So we were like,
Exactly.
So actually, that is a problem. Recording in the same room tends to have its own issues because one person's voice leaks into other person's mic, so it just kind of becomes a complete mess, man.
I
Overall.
think you need some serious like professional recording technology for that, as well as a room that doesn't echo and whatnot. Like I remember that room that we also recorded in was
yes.
completely empty, so it was echoing like crazy. Also,
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe this is a better way forward, actually, regardless of the lockdowns.
But it was fun. I said that it's more
it
fun
was
in
fun.
person.
It
I
was
like
fun.
that shit. In fact, we
Hmm.
can then invite people from IVG who are at least in Bombay to come join us, be like,
Yeah.
what's up?
Also,
Have
when
a
you're in the same room, like you can pick up from where other person's
instead
like
of over.
exactly
But
the
that
cues are much better.
the video also helps, to be honest. Like,
Yeah,
I can
definitely.
see what people are saying. Only
True.
downside is Gagan can see us zone out during Fortnite conversations. You feel a little bad,
I don't
So
think he
you
was.
know,
I don't
so
think he thought we were really interested in the first place.
the and you know what really helps right now is that I've kept my camera right in the center of my monitor, so it's between both the windows. Like Sam's on this side, you are Bali, you're on this side, so it's like I can just look straight at the camera and continue on, man.
Yeah, I
Like,
think that's big. That's been an issue for me from the last podcast where my camera was like on one corner, so I was looking at you guys, but I was not looking in the camera at all. So now I've moved the camera as well. Yeah.
yeah, I think
It's a bit of
last
trial and
one,
error.
yeah, last one was like a actual like full trial. So I
Yeah.
think it makes a difference. We're gonna get better every time.
for sure, for sure. So, dude, this week, like, actual shit ton of stuff kind of went down, right? Like, be it from the PlayStation front, be it to so many other things. But I think we should definitely discuss what everyone is talking about right now, and that is where Sony said that they're going to continue developing games for the PS4 as well as the PS5 for a lot of the games which people assumed, because I don't think Sony ever outright said that these games are going to be exclusive. People just kind of assumed that they were,
Then
and
they make a comment about this sometime last year, saying that like no, they're not doing the Microsoft strategy and they're going to make games only for PS5. It doesn't make sense to
mm,
make
Yeah.
maybe
multi-platform
they did
games.
that,
No,
but I think given
what they said is that unlike Microsoft, since their strategy is very console focused, they will if they have a new console out, they will create games that take advantage of that console.
Right.
So
but in a way they are right, but
yeah.
in a way they are.
So if Spider-Man Miles Morales is an example, like you still didn't feel that the PS5 version was a cut down version of the PS4 version. So
Exactly.
if they can
Yeah.
continue to do that, I don't see the issue.
Dude, I don't see the issue because so many people just don't have a PS5. Like, people who want their hands on the console, it's kind of not fair for them to really miss out on these experiences. Like, can you imagine towards the end of the PS4 cycle if we didn't get to play God of War, I mean, Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima because they were like next gen exclusive titles?
Yeah.
That would have
Mhm.
kind of sucked. And given Sony's pedigree, I think they can do cross gen also very well. They don't half-ass it.
Also,
That's what
if you
vibe I
remember
get.
Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, Days Gone, even though they got patches, they are still backward compatible
They are,
PS4
they are,
games.
they are.
So,
Right.
but I think Miles Morales is an example of a cross-gen game, but still a last-gen game that they enhanced for PS5. Whereas these games, God of War, Gran Turismo, and even Horizon, even though they haven't officially said it's going to be on PS4, it is pretty much confirmed. These games will be simultaneously also built for PS5
So you know what they
alongside
could do
PS4.
better?
Yeah.
you know what they could do better, and something that Microsoft has really nailed. It's like putting Xbox as a platform. They have the same disc that they sell for Xbox One as well as Series S and X and everything. So you just buy the game once. Right now, if I have to pick up, say for example, Horizon, and I only have a PS4, which is actually the case. I just have a PS4 Pro with me. So I would be tempted that like maybe I should just wait for the PS5 and pick up that version or something instead of picking up the PS4 version right now, rather than being satisfied that I can just pick up the PS4 version right now and I know for sure that it'll work on PS5, even though it may be the case.
Yeah,
You know,
so
it,
I would assume if you were to buy Gran Turismo 7 or the new God of War on PS4, you will get the PS5 upgrade. I
yeah.
don't think it will be exclusively
But
that separate that way.
that may not be true, because the thing is that the PS4 games are still $60 and PS5 games are $70. So there is still a bit of a price difference there. So
Or
let's
they might have what COD did and what they did with Miles, where you paid $10 for the PS5 upgrade, which would suck.
hmm,
But yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they manage that.
yeah.
But I think, I mean, for me, the concern that I have is with more with Gran Turismo 7, because that actually is also a multiplayer focused game. So now, if you and I'm assuming if the game is going to be across PS4 and PS5, it will have cross gen
Jen.
multiplayer. Now, if
Right.
the PS5 version has rock solid 60 FPS, but the PS4 version doesn't, then that's going to not have a level playing field online. So I think that's one thing they'll have to tackle.
But does that make an issue in a game like Gran Turismo though?
Dude,
30
it does,
FPS
dude,
versus
because
60
in
FPS.
races in Gran Turismo, thousandths of a second make a difference in first and second place, or any place,
Right.
Hmm.
because the races are so close, and like even like it's kind of a sim, right? So like where you hit your brakes makes a big difference.
Hmm.
If the frame rate is higher, then it's more accurate, and you actually have more time to react to that. So reactions
Okay.
are actually very important in Gran Turismo.
I have a question. The last Gran Turismo that came out, that was like Gran Turismo Sport.
Yeah.
So that ran at 60 FPS or 30?
I believe it's 60 FPS on PS4 Pro.
Okay.
But yeah, actually, I'm not sure. Like it's pretty smooth. So I think it's 60 FPS on PS4 Pro, but they
Right.
haven't done a PS5 patch for
Be-
it at all. It's just
because
backward compatible.
as far as I know, I think Gran Turismo as a series has been pretty consistent with 60 FPS. So chances are that it might be with lower settings or something like that.
Yeah,
They might still kind of give you the 60 FPS
yeah,
and not really give that
yeah. So
advantage
my
there.
the point I'm trying to make is that it'll be more of an issue in games that are more multiplayer focused,
Absolutely.
but Sony doesn't have too many of those. So I think that's fine for like God of War and for Horizon and stuff like that. But yeah, but the other news is that God of War has been delayed, which I mean everyone knew
Wait, like
already. But
who kind of didn't anticipate that, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like no one thought, yeah, I'm gonna be playing God of War this year, dude. Not happening.
In fact, even Horizon, they're like, oh, we're trying very hard for your end, but we
I don't
can't.
think it's gonna come out this year, dude.
Yeah,
Did you guys see the gameplay reveal though?
I did, I did.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna be a little controversial and be like, dude, I was not feeling it.
Go for it, dude.
Um, so I'll tell you what I wasn't feeling. Okay, first of all, I don't know how to describe this, if it's the correct way I'm describing it, but the game felt like it was taking place on a movie set.
Hmm.
Like it didn't feel like I was
All the
part.
plants, all the
It
plants
just
feel
was
like props.
perfectly arranged, and like
Yeah,
the greenery
yeah,
and everything, like it just felt very staged.
very
Maybe
true.
Yeah.
it was staged for the demo, I don't know, but I didn't get the feeling of being in this lush open world. That was my number one issue. Secondly, dude, the 30 fps took me out of the footage like hard. It was like really jarring, but then they said that, okay, cool, we're going to do 60 fps, so I'm like, okay, fine. And thirdly, it was just like more of the same of sorts. Like, I mean, this is a very weird opinion because I was expecting maybe more stuff. I don't know what I was expecting.
Right.
But yeah, it just didn't like sit with me as well as I thought it would. Like when I saw Ghost of Tsushima for the first time, when I saw Last of Us for the first time, God of War, I was like multiple like fucking things
Right.
happening. And this I was like, huh, cool.
I think that, like that, first of all, it's the same robot dinosaurs. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
something that
maybe.
they really did not innovate too much with. They have those other clans people and the robot dinosaurs, which could have been interesting if they would have added something very refreshingly new, not
But
just
what
different
can
dinosaur
they,
types.
in their defense? Like, what
They
can
added that
they?
elephant guy. I mean, but yeah.
But
It's
that
that's
was
fair
a
enough.
cool boss fight though. I
That was
think
a very
It
good
was a
set
I
cool
think
piece.
boss
there
It
fight
was,
was.
yeah.
and a lot of like breakable objects and
Particle effects were fucking impressive, dude.
Also,
No doubt.
exactly
there was a very cool projectile which like when it explodes, it like it shoots glue and it kind of demobilizes the enemy, which was a kind of
that,
cool
and she
weapon.
shot off the boss's tusk and kind of shot it back at him. So these kind of
Yeah,
features were kind of interesting, and also the
But these were there in the
underwater.
first game, by the way, where you
Oh,
shoot off parts of the enemy as so you can focus, right? So you have a slow mo thing, and you
hmm,
focus down, so you can actually chip away their armor. Then you kind of showcase like the skin beneath, and then you kind of damage that more. So these weren't.
nice.
I think they may have refined the mechanics for sure. One thing which was impressive is the verticality that she can
yeah.
kind of just immediately get to at the press of a button or the grappling hook or whatever.
Yeah,
That
the
was pretty
grappling
cool.
hook was cool.
That was
And it's
chill. That
got
was
that
chill.
thing where you can like send this pulse and it reveals all the climbing points, which is kind of
That
cool.
was
Which
there in the
also
first
was there
game.
in the
Yeah,
first game, like a variation of that was there in the
Right,
she
first
has
game,
that headset thing right
where
for
you
that.
can even not just see that, but you can also see collectibles. You can see like different things that you can interact with and stuff
right.
like that.
Hmm.
But is the underwater parts is
No,
that
that
new?
was
Yeah,
new. I
that was
think the
new.
underwater
Yeah.
part was new. The swimming, because I was looking at the behind the scenes thing, and apparently now she has a mask on, so you can
Yeah,
actually stay underwater for
yeah.
as long as you want, and they're building like a whole ecosystem and all. Super impressive. Like
Also, they've got that glider now. So, and because of the verticality, where you can actually, if you,
yeah,
rather
yeah.
than going around a obstacle, you can climb over it, and then you can glide down from a height. And also the glider can apparently be used to attack enemies from a height.
Dude, the
So there's,
underwater thing is a phobia, man. I hate underwater levels in any game. It's just
Really,
I fucking hate it. I
I
should
find
be.
them very calming. I'm
I
like
think it's partly because you know
mellow.
that eventually you have to come back up because you're going out of breath.
Huh?
But
This is
No,
that's not
not
an
unlimited,
not
issue
no?
here.
not just that, dude. I have this like fear of these encountering something really, really gigantic underwater, and that's like a massive fear.
But that's the whole point. I look forward to that shit, dude. Like some
Holy
fucked up
shit,
things.
dude! Even even in something like Star Wars Episode One, there was this one sequence in which these guys are underwater, and there's this gigantic creature that eats another creature that's attacking them and shit like that. And
Dude,
fuck, it gave me
I
nightmares.
will send you the link of this YouTube channel that deals with actual
Oh no,
like
no,
real
no,
world
no!
creatures that live underground. Dude, they look so
Fuck that!
fucked up.
I
It's like
cannot.
some bloodborne shit, dude. You will like get
Dude,
nightmares legit from that.
dude, I'm telling you, even though
It's
I learned how to
crazy.
swim and shit like that, I had a chance to go snorkeling once, and I fucking could not get myself to put my head beneath the water. I was like, "Fuck it, no, I'm not looking down there. I don't want to see what's there." It's just weird.
Yeah.
But coming back to Horizon, the one thing that I didn't like, and I don't know if this is the same in the first game, but like when you shoot, like whether it's an arrow or any of the other weapons, projectiles, or even the spear, it doesn't feel very impactful. Like you shoot an arrow and you don't feel like it's done damage. You know what I mean? Like actually, there are enemies who went down with one arrow hit, but it didn't seem that arrow was very powerful.
What you're talking about, the impact. The
The
impact is
impact,
not
yeah,
being sold very well.
exactly,
And in
Hmm.
fact, melee combat was one of the first game's weakest points because like it actually did range combat fairly well, but if you realize the enemies that came close, you had like the spear to kind of whack them with, and the impact just felt like you were like whacking them with like a cloth. Like I didn't feel that shit, it just felt like
dude.
really true.
So you're talking about melee combat, and I'm just fucking. My mind immediately went to Dying Light 2, dude. Did you see the melee combat
Oh,
in
for
that
sure,
fucking
dude.
trailer? Oh fuck,
Yeah.
Did you know that
dude,
for
that
Dying
hammer
Light
to the
2,
knee and all that shit.
they're actually doing away with range combat significantly, and the whole focus is going to be melee combat, whereas in Dying Light 1, after like maybe 2 hours, you got like a lot of like SMGs, shotguns, pistols and all. This time they're going all the way, dude. It's like Mirror's Edge on crack with zombies.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is the
Dude.
game that I watched. I watched this trailer and I loved it so much, but I know I can't play this game, dude.
So
Just can't.
you need to not play the game during the night, because at the
But
night
is
it
that
gets
even an
damn
option?
sweaty.
Is that even an option?
So,
Like,
so no. So what they do is some harami quests only take place at the night, and dude, it gets so fucking sweaty because you have these. First of all creatures move faster, so they are like out to kind of fuck you up, and then you'll encounter certain fuckers who only roam around at night. But this time they've taken that risk reward principle to that next level, because you can actually enter
the nest.
bases which will be a nest which will be
Yeah.
empty and scavenge for resources. So you gotta have to do that, dude.
I know, dude. That's why I'm so torn about this game because everything about it in the daytime, the parkour looks
It's
so
chill.
good.
Hmm.
Even the melee combat, dude. The hammer to the knees, the decapitation,
It
like
feels
the
chunky,
stomp,
dude, like
dude.
chunky.
Crazy, dude. Loved it.
Yeah,
I
that
love that whole trailer that they put out.
That's
You know,
how I feel about the Souls like franchise completely, man. I mean, like those games look so phenomenal, but I mean, yeah, I don't think I'll ever get to play them
And
again.
you know what the best part of Dying Light 2 is? This whole thing is going to be playable in co-op, dude. So it's going to be awesome. And I
also,
think
also the whole
cross-platform.
thing about that you have those night runners, was it the guys who are your kind of like your allies, and then you have
Yeah, yeah,
factions and all that? Is
yeah,
that
yeah,
new,
yeah.
or was that there before
So
also?
there were some factions in the first game, but this time they've like really expanded upon it. Like you have like these heretic kind of dudes. You have these what these like those army kind of guys. I
Hmm.
want to say army kind of guys. You have a
Yeah,
bunch of new factions you can this time align with and do stuff with.
exactly.
Last
Yeah.
time you were just a runner and every like the world kind of was there around you. This time the world kind of interacts with you more as a player. I think that's pretty cool
Dude,
in
even
this
the
game.
running at night looked damn hectic, dude. Like in that, like when you're being chased, how do you know where the fuck to run, man? I can't
So you
imagine
have
that
this
shit.
one button to look behind. It's damn fuck all because as soon as you do that, no, you invariably run up against the wall. You're like fuck, 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 and then you're like scrambling, and
I
then
can
before you know it,
imagine.
there are like 50 dudes around you. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like it's awesome though. Like it really gets your like blood fucking pumping, dude. And with no, and this time there's no like weapons to kind of fall back on. And so if your melee weapon breaks, dude, you are boned. You have to run out of there. You
Wait,
cannot do
there's
anything
no
else.
guns and stuff in this game.
There is, but it's going to be very limited, and every gun also is going to be craftable. So it's going to break after use for a certain amount of time. You know, so you got to keep it for SOS only.
But as I'm talking like the like, if you can, if like if you start running, then you can get away because even the infected guys can run, right, and
Yeah,
chase you down.
and there are like I think they showed at least 4 or 5 new infected types. So guys like like Left 4 Dead kind of archetypes. So you'll have a guy who can like probably run as fast as you. The freakiest dude was the dude who just pops in
Yeah,
from
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Those guys are fuckers, dude, because they can run fast. The
Mm.
assholes of the first order, dude. I loved it. I was like that. So I saw all three games back to back, right? I saw Far Cry,
Yeah,
I saw this, and I saw Dying Light. And for me, Dying Light was like fucking here, dude,
for
and
sure.
Far Cry was like all the way at the bottom.
I agree, bro. Dude, Far Cry 6 looked, dude. I don't get it because that game looks like an early PS4 gen game. Did you see the cutscenes, the character models, the lighting? Everything looked so dated.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
But the thing is that for some reason, I mean, I may be standing out on this one, but the thing is, it seemed nice to me either way because I'm again, Far Cry is another series that I'm in it for the whole story aspect of it, like where it's gonna start from, where I'm gonna go, how I'm gonna like move on, and what I'm gonna do to the bad guy in the end, and killing the bad guy in like the most brutal way possible is the main goal I want to achieve in a game like Far Cry. So for me, the visual quality and everything, like as long as it runs in 60 FPS, I'm gonna be perfectly fine with that.
That's a very
Uh,
low bar, bro. I mean, this is a next gen game. This is for the first Far Cry 6 coming on next gen.
yeah,
I think they could have done a bit more with the visuals. But
So my
absolutely.
even the story though, I mean, this dictator in a Caribbean fictional country, and he's like oppressing the country. Like how it's been so done. Just Cause does it, Tropico does it. It's like the most generic sort of plot you can go with, right? Like what is
Yeah,
unique about this? And you got a guerrilla fighter, the resistance fighting against this guy with insurmountable odds and whatnot. The weapons were cool though. I'll say
weapons were
that.
cool. Hey, what's the story with the kid, man? That kid who took like the center focus in the reveal trailer, the one who
yeah.
was with the dictator, and now he was kind of thrown somewhere in the background while
So
that girl was revealed.
there is a theory that's going around where basically that actually is the sun, and you may end up playing as the sun later on. I think they're going to be moving time periods in the game.
Okay,
But coming back to what you guys were talking about, dude, as someone who's played like every Far Cry game, the one thing that disappoints me is that this just looks like a literally any other Far Cry game. Like they haven't innovated at
they
all.
have a
Okay,
formula. Yeah,
so that is fine, but there is it's like copy paste, bro, and that was my issue with it. Because see, from Far Cry 2 to 3 there was a jump, from 3 to 4 there was like micro jumps, but like this is just like they literally did control C control V Far Cry and we are done. Another thing Far Cry actually doesn't do good is story, but what they do good are villains. Some of the
yeah,
villains are like fucking awesome. Like Vaz was like awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Even the guy in 4 who was played by Troy Baker was a cool psychotic motherfucker. Even Joseph Seed was
Joseph
cool.
Seed.
He
Oh
was
man,
cool. His minions were cool, and I'm pretty sure the dude from Breaking Bad's gonna be great. But what is the same? It's like gonna be literally. I can tell you in like half an hour exactly what you're gonna be doing. You're gonna be doing the same thing for the next 10 hours if you like it, and
pretty
that's
much.
where my
Yeah.
issue is because. weirdly, Far Cry has terrible gun impact. I actually recently re-downloaded New Dawn. I don't know if you guys ever played it. It's the
The expansion.
expansion to Far
Yeah.
Cry 5.
Yeah.
Do the guns sound like fucking toy? You know, toti guns you used to get as a kid, like tuck 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 tuck. They actually sound like that shit. They sound terrible, and Far Cry 6 has the same issue. Again, I'm not being sold on the impact of a bullet. Like the guys are either just slumping down, or it's like very light ragdolls are just falling over the place. It's not
Hmm.
selling visceral gameplay, like scrappy gameplay, or even like extremely powerful gameplay. Like in Doom is a power fantasy, so I'm being sold on that. Last of
Hmm.
Us, scrappy fantasy, I'm sold on that. This is like somewhere like this chutia middle point where like, yeah, like whatever, dude. Like that's what pissed me off about the game. Like I'm not feeling, and I love Far Cry. I like you said, I love the fact that it gives you so much freedom to do crazy shit. Like Far Cry 4, you could do bad shit, crazy stuff, dude.
Yeah.
You could strap on C4 onto an elephant and send him through and fuck everyone up. Like you do psycho shit like that. But this one, like the Macarena gun was cool and all, but like I think I'm gonna get bored in like 10 minutes.
No, even the subway where because they're like this poor country, they like retrofit like car batteries to the gun to make the
Yeah.
gun. I mean those concepts are cool, but like you said, like you played these games more. They don't
You played
feel.
these games before, yeah.
Yeah, the impact is not. Yeah,
I actually really the only music gun I loved. I don't know if you guys played it. Was the
Ratchet and
dubstep?
Clank,
No, the dubstep gun also in
Saints
Saints Row.
Row.
Was a
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
man. I could not. I need the Ratchet and Clank. I think that was the bomb where you drop the disco
The
ball.
Disco
bomb and
ball.
It's
they
like
start
everyone's
dancing.
like
Yeah.
fucking. That's cool, man. This
Yeah.
I feel is gonna get boring in like after one. I'm going and I hate the fucking song. By the way, I
To
hate the
speaking to
Macarena song.
speaking of dubstep, like you remember how there used to be a time where every trailer had the dubstep
Yeah,
music.
for
Now every
sure.
trailer
Yeah.
seems to have now every trailer seems to have Run the Jewels.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
Every
yeah,
trailer
yeah.
yeah.
has Run the Jewels, dude. What is up with that shit? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
cool. The music is cool,
I
but
like
it's
them, yeah.
fun.
So I don't have a problem with that. There was also a time where, if you remember, during like Gears of War time, all super action games were doing like super like emo
Like
songs. Like
orchestral
look at the
music.
contrast in. I'm like, chal na chutia, he's fucking art school wannabe motherfucker, dude.
I remember that.
Just so annoying. So it's like very typical, but I would still prefer the dubstep shit because that was like at least Saints Row they did it well. They would match the beats with what's going on screen, so it's kind of
Yeah,
Right.
cool like that.
yeah. Dude, yeah,
Yeah.
I actually sold a physical dubstep gun with the special edition.
Oh, they did, huh?
Yeah, and it made that dubstep sound.
Oh,
So
that was cool.
it's
That's
stupid
cool.
shit.
Yeah, but Far Cry was a bummer, dude. Like, in fact, now as much as I like UB games, I'm starting to get really burnt off on them because they are just
They
repeating
are
that
they are
shit.
a grind fest, man. That's the thing, and it's perfectly good for a person who wants to buy that one game and just keep grinding on it
Right.
like throughout the year. But yeah, for someone who wants to keep switching games, trying out something new, it takes just way too
It's
long.
kind of weird, but Ubisoft, in a way, they don't actually reward their fans because if you've played all their games, it's just another one. But like, if you haven't played Far Cry 4 or 5 and are coming into this trade, you love it. You'll be like, whoa, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Hmm.
Same with Assassin's Creed, like with Valhalla and all. If you now played an Assassin's Creed since like Black Flag and you played these games, so it's like, it's literally they're telling their fans, you know what, fuck you. This is what we have. It's not for you. We want new guys to come every time, which is kind of shitty, dude.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that.
So, which is why I'm possibly very excited about this because I never really played five that much. I just tried it for a little while. I played four quite a bit. Never played Primal also because that whole theme just did not work with me. But yeah, that's why I'm kind of looking forward to this one and seeing like what all they kind of include over the years and how they make it different from the other ones.
They're not, but it's just that because you haven't played the other ones, you're gonna be like, "Oh, okay, this is cool."
Yeah,
And then,
you do tend to crave the grind after a while. When you don't do it for a long time and
of
also I
course,
think
of
that's
course.
what's coming to me.
But I was actually really hoping they would bring in some new mechanics. There's the
Hmm.
same thing. You got to take over bases. Okay, and they're trying to spin this whole thing like, oh, you can holster your weapon. Dude, that's not a big fucking deal to me. Like, holstering weapon is not a game changing mechanic. Oh, you can bribe someone. Dude, again, it's not really new. If Far Cry had a third person mode with a cover based system, I would have been like, whoa, but then it's Ghost Recon again. So it's like now all the games are just like fusing into this blob of
Yeah.
grindy, and that's some of the biggest issues people have with Ubisoft games. Their games lack personality. They're just generic. They're beautiful worlds. I will give them that.
Hmm.
Their worlds are fucking beautiful from an artistic
And
standpoint,
packed and fucking
and
packed.
they're densely packed, and they do crazy shit. Like I think Odyssey and Valhalla. also had like this whole thing where you can go through the world without fighting. You just
Yeah,
learn the history and all that stuff. It's all
yeah,
cool for virtual tourism, but core gameplay, I think they really need to rework some of their systems, man. It's like
Hmm.
super. And on top of that, they're not doing Splinter Cell bencho. They're doing this shit. Like, how is
But
this?
so Ubisoft just announced what they're going to show at the UB Forward in June, and it seems like it was going to be Far Cry, and it's going to be Riders Republic, from what the press release says. So I'm guessing, so they'll go deeper. I'm guessing into both these games, but they're also going to show what the new Rainbow Six Quarantine is about. They're going to
Huh.
it's obviously being renamed because Quarantine can't fly into 2021, but it's going to have a new name. But they're going to show that in these two games. But I'm guessing if these three games are just what they're talking about, there's bound to be something new. So I'm
yeah.
So
There'll
guessing
be
it's
just that one more thing.
the Division. Probably, I'm guessing the Division
the
free to
Division
play.
free to play
Yeah, I think that's probably the one, or
or the
Splinter Cell.
Division mobile, huh? Or what?
Mobile won't be like a
Fuck you, bro.
showpiece.
Fuck you, bro. You said Splinter Cell. Fuck you. You know it's not happening. This is what Ubisoft gonna be like. You want Splinter Cell? You want Splinter Cell? Bitch, here. Here's your Splinter
They might also show the Sands of Time, where that's going.
Cell. I'm good, dude. I'm good.
And I
I
think
don't want to
anyone
see
wants to
that,
see
dude.
that right
I
now.
mean, no diss or anything, but I don't want to see that shit, dude.
Yeah,
I think that was a pretty straight up diss.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, besides Division, I don't see what else could be the.
So Ubisoft is kind of moving away, right? From I think on one of the podcasts you said it. I think Sam, you only said that Ubisoft's actually going to be moving away from these super high, expensive AAA games to like more either mobile games or more like free
No,
to play
not
stuff
not
or
not
some
not
shit like that.
expensive. I think I'm sure they'll still do the high production values, but they'll do like the Division free to play, which will become a platform, Division platform. So I think that's what they'll transition all their big IPs into. We'll still have Assassin's Creed as the single player. I'm guessing the annual or every 2 years release, but I think like Division, I'm guessing Ghost Recon, they can all transition into platforms like multiplayer free to play
Dude,
platforms.
you know, which is weird when you brought up Rainbow Six because I know a lot of hardcore Rainbow Six players and none of them are looking forward to this new game. They're like, dude, it's gonna be shit. Like weirdly, because see,
Okay.
Rainbow Six people like it for the competitive edge.
Hmm.
This seems more of a co-op game. I think they, at least from what I remember, they're going more for a Left 4 Dead kind of vibe with you fighting
Hmm.
off the zombies and the undead, which obviously may turn into like a multiplayer kind of thing. I don't know, but a lot of people I know are not looking forward to it, dude.
Or like
It's
Vegas. Vegas was co-op, right?
yeah,
Was it
but I
Vegas
don't think it's
co-op?
gonna be. Yes, it was, but
Yeah.
it had great multiplayer, which again we
Yeah.
played with a lot of IVG folk. That
Yep.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, with the cover system and all, that was fucking solid, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like you may not be getting a new Splinter Cell shooter, but there is another old shooter series that is getting a kind of a re-release of sorts. It's the Crisis trilogy.
Yeah,
So that's interesting though. I mean, because the thing is, Crisis 2 and 3, even if you look at it right now, it doesn't look that dated,
they
man.
have aged very well, dude.
They have aged really, really well. I mean,
Not mechanically though. They feel very like
probably.
sluggish mechanically, but weirdly, I don't think they're gonna improve that. They're not gonna change that, dude. So
It's just a remaster this time.
yeah,
It's
it's
not
just
like
a
a
remake.
remake like what they did last time with the Crisis 1, right? Was that a complete remake or was that also a
I don't think it
remaster?
was, dude. Like the mechanics seem the same. Maybe they
Huh.
tweak some controls here and there, but at least from what I remember, Crisis 2 controlled very well. Like back in the day.
Right.
This is like 2012, I think, 12 or 13. In fact, it
Hmm.
was I loved it, and the weird thing is, it actually had very solid multiplayer. But they're not doing multiplayer. It's purely single player package. And
So tell me one thing. Like Crisis 1 obviously got like this total cult level fame
right,
because of its like can it run Crisis thing.
right.
Why did Crisis 2 and 3 not really catch on to that, though they were supposedly better games?
So I think by then people like a lot of things happened. You know, when Crisis came out, it invented the first person formula a lot because
Hmm.
initially, this is I'm talking of 2005 or 6, shooters were
Yeah.
very straightforward by then. You know, you had and most of them were corridor shooters like Painkiller, uh, I don't even remember what the fuck was releasing. I think Doom 3 had come out. So here was a game that not just is pushing the visual boundaries, but it's also pushing the way you play. Because you could
Hmm.
cloak, you could play stealthy, you had these upgrades, you could like, you know, you could be like you were actually like the Predator in the movie Predator. And that's what people loved.
So
Now,
basically, all the cheats that people were using in the game, this kind of gave it to you on a platter, like,
exactly. It's
here,
like, you know
use
what, you're
it.
fucking OP, go kill shit.
Yeah.
With 2, a lot of people didn't like the move to an urban city. That was the biggest issue, because 2 and 3 took place in New York, whereas
Hmm.
1 took place on an island. And Crisis was built on the DNA of Far Cry, because they
Right.
were made by Crytek themselves. So people just loved that setting. New York didn't have that same vibe at all. Like, the city was well made and stuff. And by then, I think you started seeing a lot more shooters that came out differently, that did stuff a lot differently. And I guess, like, and they reviewed really well though. 2
They
and
did.
3
They
actually
did.
reviewed really well. I enjoyed both games, but if you ask me honestly, none of them have that cultural impact the way Crisis 1 did, because even I couldn't run it when it came out, and we
Yeah. No
weren't Tech
one
2
could.
back then, remember? So we were like, fuck dude, we had to call up Nvidia and be like, bro, hook us up with what you got best, and even then it didn't run. So it was crazy.
Also,
Yeah, man.
two and three were under EA, right? If I'm not mistaken. Whereas one
All
was
were under
Yeah.
EA, all
Yeah.
came out
Yeah.
under EA.
Even
Yeah,
Crisis
it was
One.
published
Yeah.
by EA, dude.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It was developed by Crytek.
Hmm.
When they and then they worked on Far Cry 1, which was published by Ubisoft, right? But
Right.
then
Right.
Ubisoft retained the rights to Far Cry, whereas these guys used their expertise to make Crysis,
Hmm. Okay.
which is really weird, because after Crysis, even Crytek got fucked. Like, you don't see them in the names of developers like
Yeah.
you do, like they used to be back in the day. Do you know that their last game, Hunt the Showdown, is actually very well regarded in the BR circle? Do you know that? You don't, dude. Like,
No.
But I think the engine did pretty well for itself, right? So
the
that this
engine's
became
doing
an
well.
engine company in the end.
The engine's doing well, but as developers, they are like,
Hmm.
But is CryEngine really being used by a lot of developers?
it's actually
Not
being used by a lot of developers who aren't like very mainstream. Like, a lot of
exactly.
indie shooters are using the CryEngine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weirdly, I don't know how they can
You do
afford
see
it.
the logo pop up every now and then for a lot of these games. So yeah.
Hmm.
Like, but I don't know, I mean, like, but considering Unreal Engine has been free for most usage, I mean, unless your game sells a certain number of copies and beyond, or you make certain amount of revenue from your game, only then you pay for it.
Hmm.
But it's really weird that people would actually want to try anything else, because that engine is insane. Did you guys see the videos that they showcased, the tech video that they
No, I haven't
showcased
seen that
No.
recently?
yet.
No, I
Oh
haven't.
man, it looks really good. I mean, like, I may not be the best person to explain the technicalities of it, but the thing is that they've kind of cracked global illumination without putting that much pressure on your RTX cards. So you don't need an RTX card to get that level of global illumination that you are currently being offered only on those cards. So, and plus it looks like really photorealistic, man. Whatever they've shown so far, it looks fantastic. I cannot wait to see when games
But what is
just
the
jump on
first
it.
game? What's the first game that's going to use it?
So we have that Xbox game coming on it. That's Senua's new game,
Hellblade.
Hellblade. Senua's
Senua's
whatever.
Sacrifice? No, no.
That's a new one.
No, Hellblade 2.
That's the first one.
Hellblade 2
Okay.
basically is going to be using that. Then I think they announced some other games like Gear 6 is going to be using Unreal 5. And I'm sure there are some PS projects as well because they did the
They're
showcase on the
making a Gear
PS.
6.
Yeah, they are. Why wouldn't they? Such a good game.
Is it though? Is
Dude,
it
we're
though?
also mad. You guys
Dude,
gotta just
you
hate
didn't
on that
finish
game.
Gears 4 as well.
Guess 4
Just
was
fucking fuck
shit.
out, dude.
Guess 4 was absolute shit. I completely agree to that. But I thought Gears 5 was really nice. I enjoyed playing it, and the story was good. I mean, the action and everything just sat with me really,
Sam,
really
you
well.
played it?
Yeah, five was okay. I didn't finish it though. I mean, I think three was the last one I could handle, man. Four, I just like four like fuck all.
Dude, 4
Five,
was the
4
worst.
was really
dude,
bad.
five was I would call it inoffensive. Like it wasn't a bad game, but
Yeah, it
it
was just
wasn't
about
like it was
okay. It was
like
like,
okay.
huh, okay, cool, bro.
Yeah, it was like
Sure, we can
nice.
hang. I have no
I
one
I
think
else to
think
hang with.
I think
I
it's
think I'm
like
in the minority when I say that I'll actually like that game so much because
No,
I don't
you're
think.
not actually. We are in the minority because the game sold very well and people love it.
No,
So,
I know it's sold, but the thing is, if you ever read about it online, people are always like, "Yes, huh, it was nice," but
I think the
it
issue
never
with the
really
game.
caught on.
I think the game isn't bad, but I think we are stuck in the time where we still want Gears
yeah,
of War two.
yeah,
Uh,
that's what I want, dude.
and so
Hmm.
that's not going to happen, and so we don't want anything else. I think that's the difference. I don't think the game is technically bad or plays badly or anything.
Dude, I will not say I don't want anything else. I'm okay to wanting something else and to accepting something else, just not emo bullshit. Like, I want Gears universe. To me, the Gears universe is like, it's like, it's like, satire, right? They know they're being like extra, macho and like, yeah, dude, like that shit does not. But that's what I like. I like the fact that it doesn't take itself seriously. Like Coltrane, all these characters, dude. I don't want to talk about their feelings. I have Last of Us for that, or I have other games for that are really intense about the story. I want Gears for this dumb fucking over the top action. Stop trying to cram feelings everywhere.
I think it's like a part of the like general nurturing around it, like the way every media has gotten a little more emo that way, and you just getting more feelings induced into every.
Yeah, but
As soon as
why?
I said the word feelings, your eyes like rolled
But
down.
I do, but that's the thing. I don't understand why. Because today, if I look at Netflix, also, I'm
Yeah.
just seeing like fucking my timeline is full of bencho the emo shit. Like, dude, it's cool. Give it to people who want it, but don't like fucking bombard me with that shit, right? I want like old 80s action movies. Why don't you bombard me with that shit? Make some fucking Die Hard for me. Make some Predator for me.
Dude, maybe your
Bencho.
wife is using a profile when you're
No,
not
no, she's
using
got her
it.
own profile, dude. Her
Okay.
profile's already entered by mistake, dude. Fuck that noise. That's not happening. And this is the issue I have with media because now they know this shit sells.
Hmm.
People are more woke than they were before. So now everything's just like being painted with one brush. And that's
Yeah.
bugging me, dude. Like, it's irritating, dude. And it's actually really weird. Sorry, bringing on this topic, but I can't help but laugh. Did you hear that there was a backlash and body shaming of Aloy from Horizon Forbidden West? Like, what's up with that,
So
dude?
so I saw those memes and those photos that
With
they
her
where they
chunky face and all.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, she does look like a bit like pear shaped. The face looks a bit pear shaped. But then I watched the trailer and she looked okay. I didn't
No,
have an
dude.
issue
No,
with
as
it.
soon as I saw the trailer, I remember messaging you guys saying that there's something off with the body proportions here because it seems like she has cartoon head or something, which is like a little too big for that body. It kind of makes people look a lot shorter and or stubbier overall. And that was overall. That was not just her. Even her friend who got kidnapped and then she later
The
rescued.
titru bitch who's like,
Same guy.
hey,
Yeah.
my friends are coming. Like, tell na chutia.
Yeah, so he also actually had the same kind of disproportion issue that I noticed in that. It was there in the
Dude,
first game as well, but not this much.
and
This
then
is
then the conspiracy theorists have come out of the fucking woodwork. Dude,
oh
they're
man,
bringing up
yeah.
Abby from Last of Us. This is like, dude, why does Sony want to make all their women ugly? I'm like, bro, where the fuck are you even coming from, It's
Dude,
insane.
this has gone like to Craig levels now.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. And dude, honestly, apart from the picture in which okay, that angle makes her look a little thick, which I'm totally down with. I'm just saying, bro. She in motion, she doesn't look different at all to me. Like I did not even know this was a thing. Even Craig, to be honest, I saw him in motion look fine, and people got that dopey face, and then you're like, okay, cool, it looks
No,
stupid.
even her stance and her way she runs, like it's not very like traditional feminine, but it's cool, man. I mean, this is a different era. Like humans have also evolved, and she's actually a warrior,
Dude,
dude. So
she's
you
fighting robot dinosaurs. She's not gonna be
exactly,
feminine, like, right? It's
exactly. So
like.
you yeah, so you can't
Yeah.
expect Lara
But
Croft
the
to be
people had
every.
the problem with fucking Abby. I'm like, dude, Abby's jacked as fuck. I had mad respect for her. I'm like, dude, how much does she bench, bro? Because, I mean, think about it, right? If you're on a post apocalyptic world where either zombies or the mother chodes are trying to kill you, you want to get as fucking jacked up as possible, dude. Like, I'm surprised Ellie is not like fucking stabbing herself with like human growth hormones and shit at this point. That's crazy.
True.
But I don't know, man. I mean, like I saw some really, really nasty memes out there and
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
about how she might like keep gaining weight with every sequel and shit like that. I mean, like, wow.
But I there's this weird cultural war happening where the developers are trying extra hard now to be like super inclusive and about everything, and now the community who doesn't like it is being extra vocal about it. So everyone's going a little extra on both sides. Like
Dude,
it's not being treated
there was
normally.
this, Alana Pierce, right? This
Yeah.
ex IGN, whatever. She's
Yeah.
joined Santa Monica now. She works at Santa
Hmm.
Monica, and dude, she got rape threats because the game got delayed.
Really?
Yeah,
Dude, that's fucked up.
you got hired, and now the game is delayed, and you should get raped and stuff like
I
that.
say, what the fuck,
That
I
is
dude?
mean,
fucking
it is
ridiculous,
so
man.
bizarre. Like people are just so entitled. Like, and she's one employee in a massive organization. So much goes into delaying a game. Maybe it
And
could even
she's
be a
probably not
marketing
even part of
decision.
the game dev, man.
No,
That's
she's a writer. I don't know if she's working on God of War, but she's a writer. She's been hired as a writer, so narrative, game design, whatever
yeah. I
story.
don't think games get delayed because of the writing, in particular,
Exactly.
dude.
But people want someone to blame.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. No, I mean, like, despite even if you're at fault for getting the game delayed, dude, it's a game at the end of the day, man. I mean, like, fuck,
Yeah, but
chill.
this is what happens when fucking man babies get a voice, and that is exactly why Twitter is fucking cancer, dude.
Dude,
Is it
also
now?
it's also the whole Xbox, PlayStation console war, right? Now Sony has no games this year barring Ratchet and Clank because God of War has been moved. So they have less argument against Xbox, which has Game Pass. So it like plays into that mindset. So it's just too much, dude.
So tell you one thing. I mean, like from what I've noticed, this whole fanboyism has like really, really grown since last year. In particular, it wasn't this toxic all this while, was it? I mean, like the last gen consoles. I don't think it was this bad.
It wasn't because Xbox wasn't really competing
It
as
wasn't,
much.
but it was in the
Yeah,
PS3, Xbox 360
Exactly,
days. It was pretty
exactly.
hectic then. I would
Yeah,
say that,
but
dude. It's
yeah, but
been well
last gen
said.
there wasn't much competition for even Xbox fanboys to pipe up as much. But now both
yeah.
are pretty much competing at level playing field. So I think that's kind of what's also when there are no games to talk about, people will fight about the console. And like whatever games are there, it's all drip feed first of all.
Yeah.
They announce games 3 months apart from each other. They don't have like back to back shit like how E3 used to happen. So like there's no games to talk about, so you'll talk about whatever you can to argue. So it'll be like Digital Foundry videos, or this console is doing better than that console, sales
I mean,
figures.
as
That's
much as I
what's
enjoy
yeah.
watching Digital Foundry videos for those exact same things that, oh wow, my Xbox will perform better than a PlayStation 5 in this game, or vice versa, or whatever. The thing is that, I mean, if the PS5 is going to be kicking Xbox's ass on any particular game, it's a good thing because that means that Xbox is under pressure to fucking get some work done and probably do something about it. Like maybe come up with some SDK updates that will add some new features or make things easier to develop for the game developers. So I don't know,
But
man.
here's the thing, though. So if you own either one console, it doesn't matter what Digital Foundry says. You're going to buy the game on that console, and if you have both, then it's okay. You're using it to find out which version I should buy. So either way, like why would you use that as a argument in a console war? It's like how is it going to benefit you? That's why I
It's
don't
like
understand.
it's like मेरे बेटे ने तेरे बेटे से ज्यादा अच्छा marks लिया. It's just
Yeah,
that,
but
dude.
dude, you don't understand it because you are not that person, right? Because this is a very specific group of people who get triggered about this kind
I
of
mean,
shit.
I
And
can imagine, I mean, like when you're in your like late teens or early 20s or some shit like that, and all, like you're fucking full raging all the time, and yeah, you need an outlet. So Twitter's become that toxic fucking place for that. But yeah, it just sucks to be caught in between all of that when that's not something you care that much about.
dude, and people pull out threads from where, dude? You know the guy who made Last of Us, like Neil Druckmann, dude.
Hmm.
Then there were like anti-Jew things put against him, and I was like, bro, what kind of fucking rando arguments are people coming out with? For
Oh,
me,
dude.
it's like, okay, cool. I didn't like the game because I didn't like the gameplay. I don't give a fuck what the game stands about or whether this person is being like fucking shown in the proper light and all. That's like secondary to me, dude. The gameplay for me is like above every fucking thing, including story.
Dude,
It's very weird.
I'm so fucking numb to all the religious comments and everything that go on because in India we are seeing the maximum amount of that shit on Twitter, man. It's so fucking toxic. So right now, yeah, I mean, like threatening somebody of certain religions or whatever, that just seems like every day right now. It's just crazy.
But dude, this level of like threats and happens in every medium, I think, and it's not just games. It happens in music. It happens in
Oh,
films.
influencers, man! Any female influencers, just ask them about the kind of threats or dick pics and shit they get. I mean, the kind of toxicity they have to deal with for just saying anything, literally anything. They could be saying the most innocent thing out there, or they could be just in a picture wearing a short skirt or a shorts or something like that. Arey kapde pehen le and some shit like that. Shady
Dude,
comments are coming
the
in.
thing is that people were always this kind of chutia assholes. Now they have a voice. Is that's why you're hearing more of them. In our
Social media
days,
is a fucking terrible thing.
yeah, in our days they didn't have a voice, so they had to shut the fuck up and jack off at home. Now they have Twitter, so they're like, maybe I will. Like, dude, I watched this stand-up show of this guy called Bo Burnham. He did this thing called Inside or Insider or something. It's
Hmm.
pretty cool. And one of the things he said is, can anyone and everyone shut the fuck up for a second? You don't need to have an opinion on everything. And I think that is the biggest issue with today's generation. Every motherfucker has an opinion on every fucking thing, and
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
pisses me off because sometimes you don't even know what you're talking about, but you want to be heard. This is what happening with Last of Us 2. People who
The
didn't
same
play the
thing I
game.
told you guys about the Aziz Ansari thing where we talked about
Right,
the pizza,
right,
right?
right.
People are just piping up even they don't know shit. It's
Hmm.
It's
just
crazy,
yeah.
dude. But that we've like digressed like mad, though, dude.
Yeah. But since
That's
we're
like the
digressing so much, I'd like to just include one more thing. I was watching the new season of Masters of None. It's like really, really arty.
dude. I could not watch it for more than 10 minutes. Like,
Dude,
what the
Dude,
I
fuck?
watched the whole thing in one sitting.
dude, I saw the whole thing in one sitting and it gave me such good sleep after that last night. It
Dude,
was
I
amazing, dude.
actually like I didn't like it, but I liked it at the same time. It's very
Exactly, right?
bizarre.
No,
It's
dude,
very
That's
I
the
couldn't
similar.
do it. I couldn't do it. First of all, that aspect ratio, then the
dude.
fact, then that
You know
house,
what I did?
dude, hipster fucking central, bro.
You know what I did? As soon as I saw the aspect ratio, I'm like, nope, I switched it off, like off from my TV, and just opened my iPad and I laid in my bed and I saw it on my iPad because on that it comes perfectly in the four by
So,
three
did
aspect
you
ratio.
guys watch the third season, or did you recap of the first two seasons?
No,
Just
I watched
the
all three.
third one.
The
So I
third one
watched
has no connection to the first
exactly.
two.
So I watched the first two, and I came in thinking that it'll be something along those lines where I get to see, him and the big guy. I like the chemistry a lot.
Yeah.
So it's fun. I want something light, dude. This was so frying and
Dude, I
depressing.
was
I was
hoping
like,
that
bro,
they'll come back to New York and it'll be in New
yeah,
York again, like
something like
season.
that, dude. Like I was just like, it was too awkward for me, dude. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it. I
But
couldn't
Yeah.
you know
watch
what? It gets you some really good sleep because those shots are so mellow. They're such long shots of trees
They're all
and the
still, by the way.
moon.
It's
Everything
all
is
still
still
camera.
camera.
The
Yeah,
camera
yeah,
it.
never
yeah.
It's so
moves. Yeah.
arty.
And
Like
it's
I
and it's
was
all film, dude. It's all shot on film.
dude,
Who
this is
shoots on
like
film?
the most Kalagoda I have seen in my whole life. This is like
Yeah.
literally he came out of art school and he's like, "This is my degree, and this is how I'm gonna make you all see how I earned my degree." I was like, "Fuck off, dude! I can't watch this shit."
Which is why I had to include in this podcast, man. It's like the most like non-Bali show ever.
Holy, and I love the first two seasons. Like they have the
Yeah.
pakao parts, but they are super chill because they touch on some really cool topics about Indians and immigrant.
Yeah.
I mean, Indian parents and all. And this
Yeah.
was like, yeah, bro, what?
I think
Yeah.
this was more like a, what do you call that?
It's a spin-off, dude.
Spin off. Like a
It
more
was
like a
not even
spin
like a
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sequel. Just call it a spin-off. I wouldn't have watched it, dude. And I didn't see the trailer, so I didn't know it's just gonna be about these two women, dude. I'm like, what the fuck? When does it get
Dude,
better?
I thought it'll be like black and white 4 by 3 for like a bit, then it'll expand, then
Yeah.
the color will come in, then
Yeah.
it'll go back to
Yeah.
the regular show, but that never happened only.
Holy shit, dude. That was like
I'm fine with
so.
4 by 3, dude. I saw the Snyder cut completely in that aspect ratio. So
I mean, it's fine once you get into it, but in the beginning, it's really
yeah, in
jarring
the beginning it's jarring,
because,
like
yeah,
shit, black lines.
yeah. So one thing we missed out on covering was actually the Watch Dogs update that I don't know if you guys have been following. They've added they've added
Zombies.
zombies to the game where
Right.
it's not like a it's basically like a PVE mode where they've replaced NPCs with zombies, and it's
And
basically,
reduce the density also. That's what I've seen.
yeah, and so basically you have to attack these Albion and Clan Kelly whatever strongholds where there's loot and stuff, and so it's very shooting focused. So, but it's interesting that they're supporting the game in different ways, even though I don't think the game is done so well.
It's
Uh,
not done well at all.
yeah. So right now I think it's only on PC. It's being tried. It's been tested only on
It's
PC.
in beta testing, yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but it'll come to consoles eventually, and it's not. There's no additional cost to it. I believe it's a free update.
I know
So,
it's part of the DLC, no?
is it?
Mm. It's not free.
Oh, okay.
It's not free. I will say this though, Ubisoft sometimes takes the DLC in some pretty trippy ass directions, like
Hmm.
Yeah.
with Blood Dragon and this, and with this what you call the zombie DLC, and even for Far Cry. In fact, if you see Far Cry 5 and New Dawn, they're very different. New Dawn is like a post-apocalyptic RPG almost, as
Hmm.
opposed to Far Cry. So I appreciate that, but
And
it's
it was
weird that they
very colorful with trippy colors and all of that.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Which is weird because their base game then is very lukewarm.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's like they're trying to be as safe as possible. Okay, this is what our focus tester said, or our, what has sold well. So let's just give them more of that.
Hmm.
Like, I don't think they're taking risks anymore, dude. Like, you remember the transition from, say, the Assassin's Creed 2 or 3 to like Origins, like from
Hmm.
an Assassin's Creed game, it went to an
Dude,
RPG
or even
of
3 to
sorts.
Black Flag. That was also
Or
a
three to
good
black,
jump.
and then Black Flag to, sorry, Origins. That
Yeah.
was a change, but then now again, Origin, Odyssey, and Valhalla, all the fucking same.
Yeah.
Far Cry 1 to 2 was a massive change because 2 you could get like malaria, your weapons broke.
Yeah.
Then 2 to 3 was a massive change, but then again 3, 4, 5, 6, all the same. So they do innovate a little, and then they just fall back into their pattern. That's
Yeah.
Hey,
that's weird.
speaking of which, are we not getting an Assassin's Creed this year?
No, I don't think so.
Interesting. Why?
Every 2 years, no? They
Every
move
two
Oh,
it
it's
years
to.
become
now,
every 2 years
and
now.
I think they're going like Asian-ish, so they're going to either do Japan or China or something along those lines because of
Japan would be like two on the nose, man. Ghost of Tsushima just happened and did such a brilliant job, man.
yeah,
Hmm.
for sure, and did it better, I feel, than Valhalla at
There are
least.
going to be direct comparisons, and I don't think Ubisoft would really want that, but I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know what they can do now, dude. Like this is unless they do. They've even done Assassin's Creed in modern times, which sucked, dude. With the Desmond storyline, it was not fun.
Hmm.
Unless they do it like a proper game where you parkour in an urban place, I'll be down with that though.
Yeah, like
I
a
would
modern
actually
day.
like
Yeah.
a modern day full thing instead of just having him be part of it. Like
Mm.
dude, Mirror's Edge, but in like third person with Assassin's Creed with proper weapons and all. Like I would
Yeah.
be down with that shit.
It gets super tricky, right? Because when you're talking about an urban space, then you're talking about constructions of various sizes and all
Right.
that, and then there's not that much open space as well as besides the roads. Because, and in these Assassin's Creed games, when you're exploring as well, you need that kind of open space. They're not things that are constantly rushing at you, or and the places that you can climb, they come in some after a little succession, right? So it's not immediate one after the
That's
other.
only with the new ones, but if you realize the older Assassin's Creed games were in these densely packed cities where you just climbed, and that was the
but
essence of the game.
more or less the buildings were pretty much like around 2 to 3 stories max, right? I mean, like, you wouldn't go beyond that. You wouldn't have like these towers of different
No, of course
heights
you did,
one
dude.
after the
Like
other.
in fact, you had like especially in Assassin's Creed 2 and in Revelations and all, there were like there were like structures of very
Yeah,
different like heights and
no,
stuff
but what
like
I'm
that.
saying is that they were spaced out, as in like not in the quick progression, not like one tower, then another tower, then another tower. Like right now, the buildings over here, 50, 60 story buildings and all, like one after the other, and then you get probably like a 5 story building next to it. It just becomes a very tricky thing to kind of control vertically, which is why I think a lot of games have struggled with that.
No,
But if
but
you
dude,
look
if
at if
you
you look at Spider-Man, and that's in New York, and they do have elements that are at ground level, even though there's full of skyscrapers. But you can also have missions takes like you can have missions at rooftop level. So I think the verticality can be used, and
dude
they
look
can
at
actually
this
include.
It can be
Dying Light.
used. Yeah, if it can be used if you have some kind of a, movement system like Spider-Man does. Like,
Yeah, some they have to build some
he has to
mechanics
do
in. Yeah,
that. Yeah.
they have to build
So
some
But you
mechanics
think
in.
about even Dying Light, the whole thing is parkour, right? Which is what Assassin's Creed introduced, and they do urban sprawling things. So it doesn't have to be a real city. It could be a
right.
fictional variation of a city, or and everyone takes a little liberty, kind of tweaking New York. And because I don't think even in Spider-Man, the first game, they had New York as it is. I think there were certain boroughs which were moved around to kind of make it seem a little more aesthetic or to allow swinging or something. So I think games can take these kind
First
of
one,
liberties.
first one as in the PS4 one.
Huh.
Oh,
No,
I thought
they could
they mapped it.
easily build a grappling hook type mechanic. Like you got the hidden blades, you can easily build a grappling hook like mechanic for an
But I
open
don't
day.
think they will because now
Yeah.
they're not gonna change their timeline for sure, dude. Like
Huh, that
I
I'm
don't
just
think
saying
that's
if
gonna
they have
happen.
to
Yeah.
move to a urban area where they have
It
big
would
skyscrapers.
play very differently if it was a game like that. Then I think it just becomes a very different game than what Assassin's Creed generally is.
True.
But then isn't that what the series kind of needs though? Because like
It does, but
it's
yeah.
just the same, dude. Like all the time.
Hmm.
True, they need to bring stealth back. I don't know if they did in Valhalla, but they
Yeah,
need to
dude.
bring.
Dude,
Yeah.
stealth is a very big part of Odyssey, Origin, and Valhalla. Like
Yeah.
Origin,
hard,
Origin, it didn't
proper
seem.
stealth.
I mean, it didn't seem like it was necessary to use
But
stealth.
Odyssey and Valhalla, though, 200% have doubled down on stealth. Like, you can
Okay.
take out entire outposts quietly, and in fact, you can
Yeah.
even sabotage, like, the alarm. So, when a guy goes to pull the alarm, he
Hmm.
blows up. He gets budge out, dude. This is awesome.
Right.
Yeah,
Nice. Which game has that?
Odyssey.
Oh, wow, I played
Oh
a lot
yeah.
of Odyssey.
Oh
I never
those.
went
Oh
got this.
those flames that you can
Yeah,
sabotage them.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
I played.
Wow, why
Wait,
did I not unlock this?
wasn't that also in Origins or only in
Dude, you don't have.
Odyssey?
It's not an unlock. You just basically put a trap where the guy calls for backup, and as soon as he goes to run for backup, he will blow the fuck up.
Yeah, yeah, I remember
Nice.
that.
I don't know if it's a skill tree thing or not, but I used to always do it. In fact, you can actually have a guy go there to do it and then purposely have him as the last skill so he does it in slow mo.
Man, I really want to get back to that game, man. Seriously, I think I might after playing what I'm currently playing,
Okay.
which we
What?
talk about later.
Hey, so one bit of information we missed from the Sony announcements was that Ben Studio is working on the new IP and not Days Gone 2.
Hmm.
It's not cool, bro.
Interesting.
It's not cool. It's not interesting. It's not cool. Fuck 'em. Dude, Days Gone 2 was baller, bro. Like, they could have really improved on the mechanics. But that being said, I think I like what Bend can do with the open
Exactly.
worlds.
I'm fine
So
with that,
I'm
dude.
totally down with
Yeah,
them.
and they are making an open world game, so
Yeah,
there's that.
exactly. So, but I just don't want it to be like sci-fi-ish, bro. Like, I can't fuck with
Arey,
that, dude.
how did you
Like,
get sci-fi though?
I don't know, man. I got a feeling it's gonna be like some
Just
stupid sci-fi
hating on
game.
Mass Effect. That's it.
But Ben does do shooters, so it could be something to do with uh, something more futuristic or something that's more urban. I
Dude,
don't
I
know.
just want announcement for a new GTA because I think it's high time now. That's what I want, dude. Open world stuff. And like a good GTA game, like you know what I'm saying? Not like
Dude, how
GTA
will they
5.
announce a new GTA when they've still got so much to like? They've got a GTA 5 on next gen to launch,
What
and
are
that's
the upgrades apparently? Have you heard anything about those? Because they said it's not going to be just a
yeah,
port or a thing. They're going to like the transition's going to be as big as it was from the PS3 to PS4. Like they
Hmm.
introduced an
first
FPS mode, right?
person.
So
Yeah,
I'm wondering what the fuck they're going to add to
dude,
this
I would
game, dude.
like it if they added some story expansions, dude. They've been talking about that since 2013, and they've just scrapped it because
What
online did
if
so well.
they added the fact that you could remove all those three chutias and play the game as Lamar? I would replay the whole game again, dude. I would fucking replay the whole game again, bro.
Or just remove that whole crane mission and that
Oh,
damn heist. That's it. Remove that.
and remove Michael's fucking family, dude. His family was annoying.
And the
Dude,
tennis
I
coach and all
actually
that.
found his arc pretty entertaining and everything when he had to do yoga and his son was such a like idiot.
Truth.
I did not want to say that word, but yeah,
It's not that we haven't been abusing on the podcast, dude. Like, what the
pretty
fuck?
much. But yeah, no, his son was such a dick, man. I mean, I hated him so much. I actually enjoyed his timeline because of that.
You know what I don't like though in GTA games? Like, I get that they make these characters annoying, but these
Hmm.
guys don't get what's coming to them. Like, I want to see them get fucking wrecked in like a awesome way. Like a car should have run this bitch over and made him a cripple for life or something. I'll be like, how do you like them apples now, bitch? Like fuck them, dude. But now that shit happens, dude. Like, there's no payoff, dude. Like, what's the point in making such annoying characters?
I think you are playing the villain. That's the advantage there. So I mean, like adding a moral element to it doesn't make much of a difference. GTA
You
is all about the
know,
villain
like,
story.
yeah, okay, I see that.
Yeah. So morality does not have space here.
But dude, CJ was not a bad guy, dude.
Yeah, but he did steal from places and pull
But
off
he
heists.
wasn't
And
no, no,
But
but he
he
didn't.
wasn't like evil. Like he wasn't like a dick. Like he was just like a young kid who turned out to be a gangbanger because of his family and shit like that. So you can't like hate on him, bro.
yeah,
Like
but
see Tommy Vercetti, all these guys, they were actual assholes, right? Like even Nico, he's done fucked up shit. I think CJ was just like caught, and then
hmm,
the what's it called, Samuel L. Jackson's character kind of like fucking pressures him to do stuff for him and do sketchy stuff and all, and I think he's
yeah.
doing it to save his brother. So I would say he was like the best of the protagonists in a way.
I think CJ was the best for sure.
He was the best, dude. He cool, man. Grove Street for life, bro. That whole fucking franchise was awesome. I mean, the whole
Yeah.
game itself was awesome, dude.
Yeah, man. It was fun. I mean, it was fun when I played it back in the day, man. But right now, I just cannot get back into it.
They
It's
should
just
remake it, man. They should
that
just
game needs
remake
a
it.
remake.
Yeah.
A lot of games need a remake, though. Seriously, from that generation.
Dude, and what Shaolin Monks gets the remake, dude.
Dude, yeah.
Ah,
So for
ah.
guys who don't know about this, Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat, the complete franchise, in fact, he recently did a Twitter poll in which he was asking the fans that which of these Mortal Kombat games would you want to get remade. So it had Mortal Kombat Deception, Deadly Alliance, Shaolin Monks, and one more which I did not even see
Mortal
because
Kombat 9.
yeah, Mortal Kombat 9, right.
Yeah.
So I went straight to Shaolin Monks, of course, and voted for that, and I encourage everybody to vote for that. And it
Hell yeah,
actually
dude.
did get 49% of votes, and this is out of hundreds of thousands of votes that poll actually got. And yeah, so it actually got that many votes that Shaolin Monks started trending on Twitter.
Hmm.
So yeah, man, I mean,
So
like
are they
I
gonna
don't
make
know.
that, or was that just a fun like
I
the fuck of it?
fucking hope they make it because that will be playing with emotions than otherwise. You know what I mean? Like because
That's
people
like
really voted.
you want Splinter Cell?
Exactly. That will be a full
Like
Ubisoft move, man.
Edbone
So
fucking with us, dude.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I really hope that happens. I hope they have the time to make that happen in between the Injustice Mortal Kombat cycle that they have going on. But man, if that happens, it'll be crazy. I mean, but would you want the same two characters, or would you want a
Yeah,
completely different game,
I would
or
play with
what?
the same. I would be happy with anything in that universe with local co-op, online co-op, dude. I just want to play that game as a brawler.
Hmm, man,
That's
it
like
was
the
good
only
fun.
Mortal Kombat game I've really played, dude. Because fighting games are not my scene, right? So, but that was a brawler which just had so much fun and it had fatalities. I was like,
Yeah,
yo,
it was the only brawler with fatalities in it, man.
I
It
was
was
like, bring
done
it, dude.
so well. They actually used that universe to its like a really good potential in a brawler, and they merged those two genres very well. I mean, I don't know what happened. And I think the game did also pretty well back in the day, right? It
Dude, I
sold.
don't know, man. I'll be honest. I pirated the game back then. Not proud of it, but
I
that's how I
mean,
did it.
yeah, but the thing is that overall the game did get enough recognition to the point where people have been asking for a remake or like the game to come on other ports and all. And it's one of those Mortal Kombat games that haven't really made it to PC ever. So
We should send EA a proposal to remake Def Jam Fight for New York also while they're at it, bro. Like, we'll get signatures for sure, dude.
That's the only fighting game I actually played,
That
like
was so
properly
good.
played.
That was so fucking
Yeah.
good, dude. And but right now half the music also won't be available because of different licensing and all that
Yeah.
issues, dude. Like a lot of that shit
Dude,
won't be available.
and the appers now and then it won't be fun to use, man. Like
Dude,
you can't have
everybody
those same guys. You can't
who's
have just
this? Who's exhibit? Dude, I can't have little fucking pimp and little Tekka and little this. There'll be like 50 little guys in my team, dude. I'll be like, it's so generic, dude. Like I'll be like, who the fuck is who?
yeah.
man, dude, I cannot like imagine a game like that right now. The whole scene is very different at this point, man.
The hip hop landscape is very different right now. And it's like it's very what's that word? I don't even know. Like it's like
Mellowed down.
yeah, like there's no like feud, there's no like beef, there's no like because now you can't be like that in your lyrics, right? Because like DMX, will be hating on like gay people and people just be like hating on
Yeah.
all sorts and Eminem was just fucking hating on everyone back in the day, dude. Like it's just not gonna fly today. So today it's
Yeah.
all about just bitches and money and bitches and money and cars and bitches and it's weird.
So basically, it's the new TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, TikTok is the new hip hop.
Yeah. But in fact, the last Def Jam game itself was terrible. Def Jam
Icon.
Icon.
Yeah.
Shit. They fucking killed the franchise straight up. Thanks to that white guy with the Japanese name, first of all.
yeah.
Which was,
Who then moved to Xbox and made Kinect
yeah.
games. I
Which
forget his
was
name.
really weird, dude. Like pseudo something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I,
I
I
forget
was
his
like,
name.
dude, how is this even possible? Why does he have a Japanese name, bro? Like, what is even happening here? It's really weird.
Yeah.
Oh well. So
So,
anyway,
what are
what
you
are you?
guys playing?
I was gonna ask the same question.
Hey, hey. So I'll go first. Because I'm actually playing a new game, dude, which is not
Ah,
Mass Effect for sure. I'm playing Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2, bro. What's up? Have you guys even heard of that game?
This is my Fortnite mode now. Fortnite mode on.
Yeah,
so
it's
how
not
is
a
it?
bad game though. It's not a bad game, but it's definitely the same game I played the last time. It's pretty much the same game with better head explosions. Every
Right.
time my head explodes, the chunda is off the fucking chain, and that's all I enjoy in the game. Otherwise, it's a very by the numbers, normal, not very good shooter.
The last one was like really challenging, right? I mean, which
No,
was
the
some.
challenge is there. So I don't know if you guys have played any sniping games, but generally it's fairly straightforward. But this game, you have to take like distance, wind, velocity, bullet drop, height, everything into account. So it's not as easy as just the crosshair has to be on the person. You
Hmm.
have these different meters that help you calculate everything, and it gets challenging. But if you like that kind of stuff, is someone's phone vibrating?
It sounds like that.
Mine.
Sam,
My
Damn.
bad. My
I was
bad.
hearing some.
Mm, yeah, I thought like, what is that like music
I
playing?
couldn't hear it because maybe my mic picked it up though.
Huh.
Ah. And besides that, I am also playing Last of Us Remastered at 60 FPS, which is like, bro, I gotta tell you this, Sam, dude, you gotta play Last of Us like this. So you have to finish the game for this, but you can unlock cheats. So I've unlocked slow mo in the game. And dude, every time I aim down the sight now, I have slow mo. So the fucking gore is happening in front of me in slow mo. Dude, it's a new game. It's like my Soldier of Fortune right here. I'm gonna replay this game forever. Like the parts where you shoot a guy with a shotgun and he just
Yeah.
falls back and and then you see the gore, dude. I see the gore happening in. I see intestines coming like. Blah, 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 blah. Oh,
Dude, and you
yeah.
said Soldier of Fortune. I fucking love that game. That
Oh,
game was
dude,
so good.
That was like Raven. You know what Raven Software does now, right?
What?
This is like
Call of
support
Duty.
studio for Call of Duty.
Yeah,
I mean, although this year they did make the Black Ops campaign to a certain extent, I think they did the whole campaign, but it's bad, dude. They like most of these guys all support COD studios now.
Oh man, so sad. But
dude.
whatever.
Criterion as well, dude. So support studio for Battlefield now.
Yuck! For the most pew pew shit ever, dude. When dude,
Oh,
even Paradise, the weakest Burnout game, is like after all these years, is like, bro, what is the speed in this game? Like the
Yeah,
sense of speed you get in Burnout, like, dude, even Need for Speed can't do it, dude.
yeah,
And
hmm.
speed is there in the fucking name, and the games like feel really slow.
yeah.
Yeah, which is very ironic.
It really is, dude.
So, what are you playing, Sam?
Actually, this week I haven't had a chance to play a lot, but I've just been playing more of Watch Dogs. I think I'm nearing the end of the game now.
With the
Um,
60 FPS patch.
oh yeah, 60 FPS patch made a big difference because I think earlier when I was playing the game, I couldn't play more than maybe an hour, hour and a half at a stretch
Hmm.
because the driving became really like difficult. But with 60
Hmm.
FPS, it's still not like smooth 60. Like you can still feel slow down, but it's so much better. And now I'm like going through the game a lot faster.
So I
Nice.
was going
So
through IGN's video about 60 FPS, and it definitely looks like they downgraded the visuals to get
oh,
60.
for sure. So I,
It
I
looks
wasn't aware,
really
but
bad, dude.
apparently, yeah, it looks quite bad because there was actually ray tracing
Hmm.
in the non 60 FPS version, and even the car, the back of the back window, like, there's no reflection. It's just like a
Static thing.
matte glass sort of finish. So
Right.
yeah,
Hmm.
texture qualities are lower, but I think the trade off is worth it, dude. Because once the game is in motion, you don't think about
You don't see any
that
of that.
that that
You know,
visual
which is
fidelity.
sad because Valhalla, because of its open nature, got a much better patch at 60 FPS because Watch Dogs is in a dense city, right? So they obviously can't
Right.
have that level of fidelity. But
Yeah.
Valhalla at 60 FPS, dude, looks damn good. I don't feel the downgrade. Watch Dogs, I saw the downgrade. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? This is like medium settings on PC. Like, it looks
Hmm.
really bad, dude.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of fidelity, recently AMD had this Computex thing where they talked about their version of DLSS, which is called
Hmm.
Fidelity FX, which basically
Yeah.
upscales and gives you 4K without too much of a whatever. The upscaling is really cool or whatever. Apparently, it's coming to Xbox as well. Microsoft has announced. So both
Yeah.
Series X and Series S. So that's cool. I mean, you get much better looking games without too much of a compromise, which is good.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, like the AI upscaling is really, really good. It's probably the future of gaming after a certain point and all. But right now, there are certain compromises you get in visual quality as well, which may be affecting. I mean, if it's not done right, then you start seeing certain artifacts on screen. Certain things just are not rendered properly, and also, I mean, I'll have to see to believe how
No, but
well
I
it
think I
works.
think AMD's solution is, I think, still far behind DLSS.
Right.
So I mean it's still new, so I think it'll take time to get there. But at least it's something
It's
that,
something in the right direction.
yeah, especially on console, which you game on a much larger screen than on PC. I think that can really make a difference.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, even like in if they're starting with something like a 10% upscaling compared to whatever it is, I think even that itself should give a pretty good boost to the performance overall.
You seeing my Fortnite face now? I see my Fortnite face now. I was like,
Yeah.
what's up, dog?
Well, while your Fortnite face is on, guess what I've been playing?
Dude, if it's not
So
Mass Effect, it's gonna be bad.
it's not Mass Effect. So basically, I finished Mass Effect 1, and now I'm playing Mass Effect 2.
Uh,
So
how
so
have you
yeah.
not finished the fucking trilogy yet, dude?
Dude, I'm playing literally every side quest, and you know what? There has been benefit of that. So I did not even remember about like how well the save game carries over to the next one, and I thought like it might just give me the same options that it gives you in the beginning of Mass Effect 2, in which you get to select. Man, Sam's face like
Look
really
at
tuned
Sam's
out.
face. I just look at his face, dude.
What?
It's
He
like
went in a
literally he
hard
literally
zone.
became
Like,
he became literally a cutout at that point. Like, so yeah, so
My
yeah,
bad, my
no.
bad.
So no, besides just the options that you select in game, your currency carries over. Everything that you mine in all these different planets carries over. So now my guy can literally spend on all the upgrades pretty much in Act One. I'm not kidding. I'm upgrading my ship and everything in Act One. I want to go on before. So before What the fuck? You broke my dream of car, you
Because
bastard.
I'm just looking at Sam,
Dude,
dude. Like
Nash.
his face is priceless right now.
Either way, it would have taken me a long time to actually collect that amount of money and unlock these upgrades, but I managed to do that pretty much in the first act itself, which I finished. And plus, the DLC content in that game looks really good. I'm not even fucking kidding. Like, this is like there are some open world areas and all with the new missions that have come in with the DLC, and they look fantastic, even like for today's standards. I mean,
No,
Nah,
I
dude.
remember. I remember Mass Effect 2 when it came out. It was one of the better looking games. So I mean,
it
does
was,
it?
and no, the DLC really, really ups that. It kind of adds a lot more like natural effects and everything to it. It gives you an open world, Earth-like looking game. I've taken a few screenshots, which I can probably add to this podcast later on. Another reason you guys should be watching the video podcast, actually. So yeah, I'll add those screenshots to this. But the thing is, it looks pretty fantastic right now. So yeah, I mean, it has a decent visual upgrade, especially a DLC stuff. Anyway, I'm just unlocking act. I mean, I just started Act 2, in fact, right now. So it's still a long way to go before I finish this. But yeah, I'm enjoying every moment of it, man. This is so much fun.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
so
when
that's all
so
I've been
so by
playing.
next week it'll be Mass Effect 3.
I don't think it'll be that fast because Mass Effect 2 is a chunkier game that way. You know, Mass Effect 1 had a lot of repetition. In fact,
I
all the
thought
side.
one was longer. I remember one took me a lot longer than two did.
No, the problem with one is that all the missions are pretty much similar. Like, you know, you're supposed to go to these different planets and free up certain people from these places that are held hostage over here and all. And all these bases look exactly the same with the same layout and the same thing. Only the enemies will be spawning possibly from different points, or crates will be kept in a different order. That's it. Mass Effect 2 is a lot more complex that way. Even the side missions are a lot more complex, and they don't seem very cookie cutter like in the first game. So I expect to play this a lot longer. Let's see. But you know what? The shooting mechanics in this are a lot more challenging for sure as compared to Mass Effect 1. I mean, this is an actual shooter, and your armor and everything really wears out really fast whenever the enemy fire comes in. So I remember, in fact, Bali, you had told me this when you had played Mass Effect 2 originally, that how the game like gets really, really challenging in the end, and you actually had to tone it down to easy at one point to get past like this enemy horde or something.
Really? I
Yeah.
don't
So
remember, dude.
so no, I expect that to happen because it, even right now, if I'm not careful, I cannot just go out there and run and gun like I did in Mass Effect 1. In here, if I'm not taking cover, I will be blown out in absolutely no time. So good
Okay.
stuff, dude.
Nice. Dude, you know one game I'm not playing this week is Days Gone, dude. I can't get into it, man.
What the fuck? Why?
Dude,
What
I don't
happened?
know. Dude, I don't know what it is. I mean, it's the zombies for sure because even the stealth part where you have to like sneak past these, there'll be a small group of them,
Huh.
and it just gets too it's too stressful for me, dude, to get to the good parts. Too much stress is involved, man. Like I love the open world, like it's really lush and well built, and like you said, when it rains, it looks fantastic, and with 60 FPS, it plays really well. But dude, it's too stressful, man, for me to enjoy. It's
Hmm.
just not for me. Like I only wanted to get into it, but not my kind of game, man.
Just FYI, the zombies are damn easy to hustle because you throw a stone, they all will blindly go running to the stone and you can fucking run away. So the AI is damn easy to cheese in this game.
Okay.
It's damn easy. And dude, once you, I don't know how much you played, but once you actually upgrade, you can do stealth kills like tuck, 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 like this, dude. Then you have a silence pistol, take guys out. That you have a lot of like tools in your arsenal. See, dude, with any zombie game, there's gonna be stress. Like, dude, I have now reached almost the halfway mark in my Last of Us playthrough, and I just forgot how sweaty this fucking game is, dude. And I'm playing a new game plus, so I have my older saves all my stuff. So I have my resources, my upgraded weapons, and even then, some parts are like really hectic, dude. But
Hmm.
these games are so even Dying Light is gonna be damn sweaty,
Dude, I'm
bro.
not playing that shit, dude. I'm not playing Dying Light, dude. I love watching it, and I'll watch a stream of someone else playing it, but dude, I can't play that shit, dude.
Oh, that's fair then.
Yeah, I relate to that. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
But I hope the game does well, man, because it looks like a lot of work has gone into it.
Dying Light 2, right? Looks
Yeah, yeah.
awesome, dude. I can't wait to play it.
I mean, I'm not really enjoying or looking forward to this whole zombie resurgence that's
I'm
happening right
actually
now.
vibing with that because there's Back for Blood also, dude, and I'm really looking forward to that game.
I enjoy killing humans a lot more, man. I mean, sorry, in games, of course. But yeah, no, I mean, like, it's just so much better for me. Zombies just like that cheating your way out of it by giving you human-like targets without any
Bro,
morality.
you play Last of Us. You see how you can't cheese that shit at all, dude. And when the not screechers, what are the bitches called? Those blind guys?
Clickers.
Clickers. Dude, when the clickers come, they fuck. Dude, even my wife was in the room that day. She heard the clicker. She'd be like, fuck this. I can't take this noise anymore. It's like they've really made it nice and
Yeah.
creepy, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
You came across the Shamblers?
It's been a while. So, like, how do they look?
There's the acid guys.
Yeah, yeah. I've come
Because a
across
lot of
them.
these guys insta kill you. So if you get caught trying to fucking sneak up on them, the penalty is far more severe
Dude,
than
there
Days
was
Gone,
a
dude.
hectic hospital, the hospital level.
Dude, the hospital part is where you go for the second chick. That's damn cool. That's the crazy part. Dude, wait till you play as the other. Actually, spoilers. Okay, that part gets mad
Yeah.
hectic. It's one of the best boss fights in a game I've played in a very long time. Too sweaty, bro. My hands were like, butch.
But I'm playing it on easy, dude. So, not
I
gonna
do
lie.
want to play Resident Evil though. I mean, I think that's one of the
Village is
games.
damn good,
Yeah,
dude. It's damn
yeah.
good.
I think I'm gonna probably get on that after I'm done with Mass Effect
So,
because it's
Village is not scary.
yeah.
Only
I
one
heard.
part of the game is really fucked up and scary. It's not scary, but it's just fucked up in a way.
I know everybody's been
Uh,
talking about it on
like
RPG as well.
I'm like, dude, like that part was really messed up. But other than that, it's cool. Like there'll be a little jhatka here, a little jhatka there, but you
Hmm.
have so much weapons and ammo at your arsenal. You're always gonna be like, whatever, dude, you
Yeah,
blow.
yeah.
You know,
Which is why I'm willing to give it a try,
and
man.
it's a
That's
very well-paced game. Like unlike Seven, that got like too oppressive in its like surrounding.
hmm.
It's open. You can explore. You can
Yeah,
upgrade your weapons. It's got a nice loop. It's really
yeah.
enjoyable.
That's what I need, man. I need like all the tension to come in bursts rather
Hmm.
than just stay all throughout the game. So I'm fine with
That's
that.
what Seven did. It was just too tense, 24/7. It got too much. I'm like, nah, bro, I can't handle this shit. Like, it's
Yeah,
too
yeah.
stressful for me. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I think
So
we're done, dude. Like 1 hour, 15 minutes this
yeah,
time.
that's pretty much it. And the next episode that we have will be like right before E3.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, we're so close to it right now.
All
Yeah.
right. I really hope it's not going to suck. I really hope it's not going to suck.
I
You
think
know
it
it
will,
is.
dude. I think it will.
I know, bro.
Expect it to suck. Go in knowing that it's gonna suck, and that's it. Maybe you'll be
Then
surprised.
it might surprise us. Yeah.
Maybe you will be sucked then. Stupid joke. Anyway. Okay. So then we see you guys in the next one.
See
Bye
you guys.
bye.